Okay, start the delay. Call the meeting to order. Stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. A little bit of an adjustment period here. Pass out a very brief agenda with my extremely dry hands. All right. Okay, everyone is in attendance except Trustee Rude, who is excused. Next item, public comment. We have Tom Mills. Could you please stand? Give us your
Tom
name and
Mills,
address.
3274 North Elmwood Drive. First, I want to thank the board for what they've been doing. I'm not here to draw any comments, but I've been approached by a bunch of residents in regards to the applications and the fulfillment of jobs that are coming up and some of the requirements that I had to go through prior to getting a clerk when I was in charge. The requirements and the filling, kudos to Kendall for taking the position and filling in for her until you do get an administrator. But the guidelines were kind of set by even your board as far as combining both jobs together, administrator, clerk, and you had an ordinance or you passed an amendment or some guidelines that had to go by that. So that you could combine both pays together when you had the administrator, because he was doing both jobs. To split all of this and to come up with who's going to get paid what is what many of the residents are asking. I was approached by many of them to ask that question, along with the guidelines to get an administrator, and if the village clerk, kudos to Kendall for taking that position. The qualifications to run an election, which is coming up in April. Are they going to be certified? Are they going to meet the guidelines? Because applying for the city clerk's job, when I had to look for a clerk, I had to go out to Union Grove to the association out there to find people that were qualified to run that position. I have no idea. She could probably get qualified by the county clerk to run an election. But it's things that people on the outside are not aware of and have been asking about. And this is why I'm asking you, so that if they come to me, what is your response? Are the guidelines being met to qualify people filling the positions, or are they going to be qualified by the time the April elections will be coming forward? Are they going to have the classes that are required to run the test prior to the election, to run the election without all this election certification going on? It happens in our little village. There are questions about people being elected and put in positions. I'm not here to stir the pot. I'm just asking questions that have been asked of me. And to find out if you have posted these positions other than on the board for the administrator. What kind of guidelines have you set forth for an administrator? Have you advertised on the outside? Have you gotten any qualifications or qualified people for this? Are those the things that you've been looking for? Your whole job has been for the improvements that have been done and the activities that have been done. Kudos to you. But the question that also comes up with, you got what, 2.5 years maybe on this complex to pay for? But with the road repair grant bill that was out there, the windows that you're talking about doing, the $30-some thousand to take care of the park for all of that protection and the groundwork and the appointments, are you going to have funds without raising the interest rate or the taxes in the long run? That's what they were asking. All of these things are all great for the village, because this was the money pit for when I first took over, for the interest rate and everything else that they were paying. You only got 2.5 years or so left to pay on this. And it will be, if marketed right, and put out there and kept up like you have been keeping it up. Improve the roads. You've done the paint. You've done the electrical. Your board has done tremendous strides. But there's people constantly asking. I don't know why they pick on me. Maybe because I'm so quiet and reserved and don't say nothing. But it's the idea that these are things that people out there are asking that maybe you haven't been approached by. I'm just letting you know that it's out there.
Typically, we wouldn't respond to public comment, but given the situation, I would encourage whoever these people are to come to these meetings because everything you talked about has been discussed over the last 4 months. There's been presentations on next year's budget. There's been discussions on a 5-year plan on how we're moving forward with costs of repair, maintenance. There's a facilities plan for just this. There's a 15-year roads plan. Pretty much everything you talked about has been discussed at length in previous meetings. It's all of the records for which it's all public. We have videos of this on YouTube. So I'd direct them to the last, I think it's about the last 3 or 4 months YouTube videos for the board meeting.
Okay.
They're gonna find that information there. Planning for the campus has been discussed quite a bit is the best way I can say it right now. If you want more information about this, I'd be happy to give you everything.
No.
You can do it right outside of the meeting. I
It's
can
not
forward
for
it to
me,
you.
it's that I can go back to some of these people and say, look at YouTube. Look at
I
this,
would.
look at, I mean, these are things that aren't just hearsay from me.
No,
Here it
that's
is, it's
okay.
documented.
Completely understood. And then for the postings, also, if you'd like to see information on that, where they were posted to, we can send, we've
Because I
got.
know that you always put it on the Elmwood, Maryland, and the Elmwood.
Yeah, that's
put it
really,
over by the
that's
hill.
just one, because we're required to physically post items.
Yeah,
and
but
that's
I
the
mean,
physical
has it been in the paper?
It's been in the paper, the municipality, Wisconsin municipalities, we've gone
You've
quite
gone through
overboard.
League Municipality?
Matter of fact, we've gotten over 14 applications now for the administrative
Okay,
positions,
all right.
not individually, but collectively.
Okay.
So we got quite a pool right now.
Okay.
That's part of what tonight's meeting, this is,
Well, again,
not tonight's, but.
Everyone has said that before, and I totally agree. And I give my hat off to Kendall for stepping up. I don't know if it was on her own or how it was done, but for her to take over and get at least some of the guidelines in the history of what's been done and taking it over. Kudos to her. But it's one of those things where the amount of people that have asked, now I can go back to them and tell them, this is what's going on. If you have any questions, you don't have to ask me. Look on YouTube, or if you want, talk to one of their trustees, and they'll share the information. You know, it's been
It's as
years.
simple as forwarding an email at this point for all the information you requested.
So,
Or we're discussing, not you
right,
requested, we're discussing.
it just, that's the only reason I'm here, and I'm sorry to extend the meeting past
Oh, that's
your
okay.
adjournment and get on, but I wanted you to know as a village board that it has been appreciated by a lot of people, and that these were the questions thrown out to me.
Encourage these people to come to meetings. We
Let
would
me
like
know
to
how
see
that
more
works
people.
for you. I've tried for years.
Right, all right.
The only time, I just want to thank you again for your time.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
All right, that will be in public comment. Next, we're looking for a motion to consent the agenda. There are no minutes, it's just agenda today.
Make a motion to consent the agenda.
Motion to consent the agenda by trustee Johnson, is there a second?
Second.
All right, second by trustee Hinkle. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, so passed. Next, new business, item A, or new business, item A, excuse me. Motion to go into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 19.851C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, which is employee compensation specifically for the interim clerk position, which is Kendall. All right. Need a motion?
Motion to go into closed session.
All right, we have a motion.
Second.
First by trustee Gasser, second by, who was it? Trustee Studi. Discussion? All right, roll call.
Gasser, aye.
Eagle eye.
Rossi, aye.
Johnson, aye.
Stein, aye.
All right, we're in closed session.
Text me.